Welcome back to Salt City Counseling, everybody. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about a very, very important issue known as teen suicide. This is a very, very important topic, I believe. I believe this is an important topic for virtually everybody. Generally speaking, though, this topic does not get a lot of attention, not nearly the attention that it deserves, that it needs, that I believe that it should. I feel like the fact that this topic does not get a lot of attention is just proof positive that too many of us have our priorities a little mixed up. I'm going to talk about teen suicide. Teen suicide is very preventable. Suicidal teenagers are very, very treatable. I'm scoot in a little bit more, actually. And in this video, I'm going to actually talk about how, as a parent, if you find out your kid is thinking about suicide, has been suicidal, planning their suicide, etc., 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 guaranteed ways that you can absolutely, positively make the situation worse. Side note, I have seen all of these things happen. All of these things are real life, true blue examples. Now, I'm not here to bag on parents. I'm not here to hang them out to dry. I'm not here to make them feel really bad or self-conscious or whatever. I just think that this is so important to realize that you might actually be making the situation worse. And I really know that a lot of parents kind of come from this place of where they're just like, I don't know what to do. So I just go with whatever I normally do in situations or whatever. And I actually, and I talked about this in another video, I worked a year and a half at a high school that had some suicides and very high risk population, lots of high risk kids. And it was a very rewarding experience for me. And one day I presented to a class. There was this teacher in the school. She worked with the kids who were kind of the troubled kids. I mean, think of like the old movies like Stand and Deliver or whatever, or like Dangerous Minds, where like that teacher's like, how am I going to reach these kids, right? That was her. She was such a good teacher. But I talked to one of her classes and I asked those kids about why kids don't talk to their parents if they're feeling suicidal, if they're planning suicide, if it's on their mind, why they don't approach or talk to their parents about it. And I just basically opened it up. And those kids were very forthcoming. I gave them a chance to speak their mind, be honest, open up, tell the truth, and listen to them, which is something that most adults don't take the time to do, is just ask and listen. And as a side note, this will probably be a separate video on a parenting pro tip. Parents will ask me questions about what should we do with our kid in this situation, what should we do with our kid in that situation. And a lot of times if the kid is sitting right there, I'm like, well, let's ask them. Let's see what they think. Kids like that. They love being treated like an equal. They love the ability to have choices and have some autonomy and have an influence in what happens to them, for them, their lives or whatever. If your kids are like getting older, give them some of that, include them, have those conversations with them. Don't just like make decisions for them. That might be a video for a different day. So I asked this class full of kids, like, why don't kids talk to adults about suicide, especially your parents? And I mean, hands coming up everywhere. My parents will freak out. My parents will punish me. My parents will call emergency services, and there will be fire trucks, and I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want and the bottom line, the basis of everything was basically, in essence, parents were handling it poorly. So let's get into this quick list of things that I see people do that always make the situation worse. Before I get into that, though, if you like my content, obviously subscribe to my channel. I can keep content going like this as well. If you hit the tip jar, all of those links are in the description below. I take PayPal, Venmo, and if you have a high conflict situation too, I'm working on a new website geared towards all of that. If you want to help me get it launched with a lot of content on there and kind of your one-stop website for a lot of this stuff, hit the tip jar, man. Help me out. You can really help me out and get that website going if that will be helpful to you. Anyways, so yeah, let's get on with this. So here are the things that I've seen parents do to make the situation worse. Again, I've seen all of these. Okay, for example, parent finds out that the kid is suicidal or has been planning suicide or what have you, and the parent kind of gives the "what the hell is wrong with you" response, is kind of what I call it. Your kid needs to hear, "Hey, I love you," and it escapes me that maybe some parents can't maybe see that this simple basic thing is so important that instead of saying "what the hell's wrong with you," say, "Hey, I love you." And I'm sorry that you feel that way, and I'm sorry that I haven't done more to support you, or whatever. Things like that supportive response. That's what you should do instead. Instead of giving the "what the hell is wrong with you" response, give the loving, supportive response. Second thing that I see a lot is the punishment. Oh, you're thinking about suicide? Time for the punishments. This to me is the one trick pony parent. The parent that it's like any time I want to see my kids change their behavior, even if they haven't done anything wrong, punish, 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 punish. You know, I see these kids where it's like the parent tracks their phone everywhere they go, and it's like, well, what did the kid do wrong to deserve that? Nothing. I just need to know where they're going. Well, if all you do is punish, then there's a good reason why your kid is not going to tell you that they're suicidal, because they don't want to be punished. But parents still do this. It's like, oh, well, I found out that my teenager's been planning their suicide. Give me your phone. Give me the keys to your car. You're grounded. Like, what? No. Sorry, guys. No. Okay? Oh, you feel like your life has no meaning, purpose, fun, joy, connection? Well, let's make it worse. Let's turn the heat up on the pressure cooker and make you more miserable. Like, and I've told parents, like, no, they need to go have fun. They need to have those connections. You know, one mom wanted, well, give me your car keys. No, the kid likes to go driving. That's how he copes. And having that freedom. And she took my advice, and it really helped the kid. He felt better after being able to just go for a drive, listen to music, right? So if your kid is suicidal, don't punish him. I know it when I say it out loud, you might think like, seems pretty common sense, perhaps. Yeah, you'd think. But to me, the worried parent is always the punitive parent. So usually, if a parent is just punishing, then it's usually because they're worried. Those are kind of two of the main ones, but also like the parents that freak out and just lose it. What kids need is that supportive response. And just some of the experience that I have, like let's say that a kid tells me that they're suicidal. And when the kid does that, I always level with them and I say, listen, kid, I got to tell your parents. And so why don't we have that conversation with them, you and I together. And I've never had a kid turn me down. And so usually coming from a professional, it's kind of a different scenario where if I say, hey, this is what the kid needs, right? And sitting there too, I've seen the what the hell response. Like, well, what's wrong with you? and I have to remind people, like, do you love your child? Well, yeah, of course I do. Then say the words, I love you, son. And I say son because teen boys take their lives way, 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 way more than teen girls do. It's astronomically higher. Astronomically higher. In fact, in the last several years that I've been, neck deep in the teen suicide issue, I think I've only heard of one girl or had the death of one girl reported to me versus at least close to a couple dozen boys in general. So if you are concerned about your son, you must build a good relationship with him. He will be far more likely to approach you, open up to you, talk to you if you have a good relationship with him. You're not going to have a good relationship with him if you're punishing him. If you treat him like a screw up, if you're always focusing on the flaws. Always, and I've been talking about this a lot lately. If all you do is focus on the negatives with your teen, don't be surprised when they hate their life or they hate themselves and they want to end it. Okay? So that is just a little bit of the tip of the iceberg on a lot of this stuff. Please make some efforts to be connected to your kid, be dialed into your kid. Today is November 3rd of 2020. If you're paying attention, I think there's something going on this day. I don't remember what it is. Something important. I don't even remember what it is. But whereas a lot of people are screaming about politics, maybe take a minute and check in with your kids, because that's important. Okay? You're probably not going to watch this on election day anyways. So, but just go check in. Just go check in. Yep, headed to work. Thanks for watching. See you next time.